Okay, we should be live now. I'm going to do my normal checks here. Should be coming up on Facebook events live. I'm coming into our group right now to check that out. And we click on events inside our group, 8:30 p.m. Tuesday night. And let's see. Just checking, and it looks like we are live indeed. Okay, and we got sound, so I'm clicking out of there, and I'm going to go into YouTube to be sure we're in there as well. YouTube channel Midwest Rockers. And we're doing episode number 17. And it looks like, okay, and it looks like we're live in Midwest Rockers as well. And I found a new way to get there much quicker, which is super cool. Awesome. And to check out the video to make sure we're live. So that'll be really handy in the future. So I'm going to click out of that to save on some resources here. And hopefully we have a good connection for tonight. I have too many pages open, but hopefully things stay strong. Okay, one more thing I'm going to do before we get going here is I'm just going to post links, which I forgot to do inside Facebook, our Facebook group. I'm going to try to do that really quickly here for those that want to follow along in StreamYard or directly via the YouTube channel to watch that live. So I'm going to do it real quick. We are live now. StreamYard, YouTube. Oh, and I accidentally clicked out of YouTube already, so let me try that again. US Rockers. Okay. Almost there, almost there. Hang in for 1 second here. Going to StreamYard, grabbing the link for StreamYard. And got it. Okay, posting to our group right now. StreamYard link and the YouTube Midwest Rockers link as well. Live now. MFB Rocker group. Okay, or watch in the following. Okay, and I just posted that in our group, so we should be good there. Oh, cool. Looks like we got another new member in our Midwest Rockers group. We are up to 163 members now, which is super cool. Had some great engagement over the past week. That's always exciting. Okay, so StreamYard's going live. We're 4 minutes in. We did our checks, and we appear to be good to go. So I'm not going to worry about checking desktop or mobile. So that's not too bad. It's taken me longer before. Okay, so glad to be back. We were off last week, and as I've indicated before, I'm also a gaffer, which is a video lighting specialist. And we worked from 6:30 a.m. yesterday to about 9 p.m. So I was a little tired to get. I almost canceled tonight, but I thought, no, we're going to push through, and we are going to get this episode going live for you guys. So we are here and we're going to push through this episode tonight and deliver part four. We're getting back to Pat Flynn's book, The Superfans, and some of his methodology and how he goes about teaching us how to convert audiences in all the way to through the different levels up into superfans, starting with a casual audience to the active audience to the connected community audience, and then finally into a superfan. Okay, so that's kind of Pat Flynn's strategy from his Superfans book. Okay, you can get the book and you can read that yourself and learn the principles and so forth. Of course, in this group, what I'm doing is I'm going through that book, which I've listened to on audio and I've read, and now I'm reading again and listening to audio again. And I'm going through it and I'm tailoring that information for our group, the Midwest Rockers, and how you can utilize his strategies in your band to gain superfans, which is our whole goal. That's a lot of what this group is about. It's about building your superfans so that you can get a bigger draw to your shows, your gigs, your concerts, the festivals, and so forth, so that you are meeting the venue's needs, right? So the venue has needs and customers. They need our fans to eat their kitchens empty, right, and drink them dry, right? So they want our fans to eat all their food and drink all their drinks, and that's how they make their money, right? So our goal needs to also be their goal, and then the venues will like you more, be willing to pay you more, and they will seek you out to book you for shows. And so that's the whole idea here. If you build super fans that come out to your shows and engage with your band, that's going to give you a bigger draw, a bigger following, which then gives the venue what they want, which then in turn allows you to make more money per show, and maybe even venture out beyond your local area and start kind of building venues out and eventually traveling different states and so forth, and maybe even becoming nationwide one day. Starting with the Midwest, of course, because you're in the Midwest Rockers, right? So anyway, let's get going with tonight's training. I'm going to do a little bit of a recap and an introduction, as I always do, because of course we do have some new members within the group. I've already kind of done an introduction for tonight for those of you that are already in the group and have been kind of paying attention, watching those episodes and replays and so forth. Replays are always available inside the group. I load them with typically within about a week, and then they're in that guides section of our Facebook group. So if you go to Midwest Rockers Facebook group and look at the top, you will see a little tabs section. One of them is called guides. If you click on that guides, you can see all the episodes, and tonight is episode number 17, which should be in there by the next time we go live. Okay. So I'm going to pull up my notes here, and we're going to start cranking on this. This one is a little shorter tonight, so that'll be good as well. And on my file here, I'm just going to take a moment to change the date because we are the 13th, I believe, tonight. It's Tuesday, episode number 17. Okay, very good. I keep these PDFs. I have a PDF of notes. Just helps me to get through discussion. And then also, if you wanted a sample of the notes, like especially the training portion of the notes, I could send that to you, or I can send the whole PDF of the show notes if that's something you're interested in. All you have to do is send me a message on Facebook in Messenger, and just say that you would like the notes for what episode you're watching or engaged with. Also, in each show, usually I have some type of keyword that you can type that lets me know what episode you want the show notes for. Okay? So you can pay attention for that in there. Anyway, welcome to all you who are familiar with this and who are new to the Midwest Rockers Facebook group. This group is for musicians and bands who are passionate about rock-based music and sharing your gifts, your years of training, your talent, and your dedication with your audiences. Midwest Rockers is open to musicians of the five core instruments: guitar, bass, drums, keys, and vocals. The group is already filled with musicians just like you and myself, those who are hungry to make it in the music business at some capacity and level and entertain their local communities, city, states, and the Midwest region. So here's my vision for each of you in this community to help rock-based cover bands grow their fan base, become a venue favorite, and create lasting, memorable moments with your audiences. I am offering a podcast guest opportunity to rock stars within this group who'd like to share their story, their knowledge, get some promotion, and establish new connections within the Midwest Rockers community. If that's you, let's get a podcast episode booked. You can just reach out to me in Facebook Messenger, and we can get that set up. If you prefer email, you can just type johnkapity@gmail.com, JONKAPITY@gmail.com, and send me a message. Let's begin, as usual, with the Midwest Rockers Manifesto. Rock and roll is our accomplice. Ordinary is our enemy. Like rebels fighting monotony, our mission is simple: escape the mundane. We are the Midwest Rockers. We keep music alive. We fuel the local scene. We entertain our audience. We promote the venues. We build superfans. We cultivate a family feeling. We stand together. United we rock. We are the Midwest Rockers. This group is about education, entertainment, and engagement. The education piece in the group is about sharing your knowledge and your experience, learning how to grow your fan base, become a venue favorite, and how to confidently connect with your audience. The entertainment piece of this group is about posting clips of your songs, your live performances, or your practice sessions, and posting your upcoming gigs. The engagement piece of this group is about connecting, supporting, and learning from one another inside this group. You can engage by asking questions, dropping tips and hacks in the group. You can share your knowledge, your experience, and stories that might help others within this group. So come back and visit often. I am John Cappy, the creator of the Midwest Rockers, guitar coach, gaffer, which is a video lighting specialist, and marketing coach. I have a heart and deep connection for rock musicians. You are my tribe, my people. I connect with you. We speak the language of rock. We understand one another on a level beyond conversation and small talk and hanging out. I was in and out of bands. I understand the difficulty of getting other support and getting them to show up to the gigs. I also launched a guitar academy. I birthed new musicians and helped them skip many hurdles I had to go through on my own journey. I learned superfan strategies and became friends with students and their families, even to the point of having what I call live events for my students and their families. I would host these, and this is what you would typically call a recital for a music teacher, which, let's be honest, typically are kind of boring, and you just go because you want to see your kid perform and you want to be supportive of the whole thing and so forth. We called them live events because we went really big and we created kind of like a rock show. In fact, School of Rock does a similar idea, and I learned about them after I started doing my events and so forth. We went so far as to even sell out, if you will. I mean, we didn't really have a cost of admission. One of our recitals, which again we called live events, right in Kenosha, where we had Miss Kenosha MC for us. And we had about 300 people show up to a venue that could only hold 140 people. We had to actually turn people and families away, believe it or not, because it was such a huge success. And in that, we constructed it so it was two parts back to back, and both of them sold out, and both of them had people that we had to turn away. So it's pretty wild. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about when you get your super fan strategy correct, and you build your super fans. They will show up, even to something as simple as a recital. Okay. I studied personal development to become more confident in myself. And from the stage, I studied business so I could learn tools to help others, such as you, on your journey. I've hired coaches, consultants. I've bought digital programs. I've spent upwards of $30,000 investing in beyond school non-degree education skills so that I have the ability to help others within this industry. I've rebuilt businesses and careers over and over to learn there's endless opportunities for furthering personal growth. Uh, During the devastation of a recent divorce, I used that change as an opportunity to get back into the music scene. I've observed over 150 shows, probably up to about 175, maybe even 200 now, to see how I can use what I've learned on my own journey to help other musicians live their dreams and build their vision into a reality. I quickly discovered three secrets that most bands are missing, and this group is a part of sharing those secrets with you. As musicians in the common day marketplace, we do face a common enemy, and that is ordinary. Society is designed to keep people at home. People, our potential fans, our super fans, are going, not super fans, our potential fans are going out less and less. Ordinary seems to be our way of life now. Some of those culprits are addiction to social media, access to the internet, large TVs at relatively low cost, gaming consoles, live entertainment, etc., right at home in our living rooms while we're sitting on comfy couches and wonderful entertainment type recliners right in our homes. Our busy lives, our kids' hectic extracurricular activities, along with our kids' work schedules, in addition to longer hours at our own jobs, and typically two working adults in each typical family household now. So we need to play offense as musicians and bands. Do not expect your audience to convert themselves to active, engaged, and or super fans. Also, just because they know you and they show up to some of your shows doesn't necessarily mean that they are part of your super fan group. The key to super fans is that they motivate themselves. They go out of their own way. They cancel their plans, like other plans that they may have had to come to your gigs, to bring friends. They organize their calendars around your gigs. They buy your merch. They buy the upgraded seats. They attend the meet and greets. They show up to all your shows. They throw money in the tip jar. They are the exemplary fan, your core, your fan family, a super fan. Okay. So in today's episode, again, we get back into Pat Flynn's strategies in his book, Superfans. That's what the book is called. It's called Superfans. This is part 4 of our Pat Flynn Superfans book journey. We'll be talking about moving an active audience to a connected community. The first 3 parts that we went over were about moving, where it was an introduction to the whole idea of the superfans idea from Pat Flynn, and then moving a casual audience to an active audience. Okay, now we're moving an active audience to a connected community fan. And then from there, it's converting that connected community member or fan into a super fan. Okay, so right now we're kind of in that step 2 of Pat Flynn's teaching of an active audience. They were a casual fan. They took some sort of action with you. Maybe they were accidentally at a venue that they like to attend and they saw your band. And this is a casual fan who almost accidentally saw your band and really liked you guys, and maybe they looked you up on social media and started to take interest. And maybe they liked your music when they saw you, and they start to seek you out to see about going to another show. Maybe they like your page. If you have a group, maybe they join your group, your fan group. Maybe they follow you on Instagram, etc. Okay, or TikTok if you're on TikTok. They took some form of action. Maybe they just simply, after the show came up, and introduced themselves and said, "I really liked your show. I liked this about it," etc. Okay, this is taking a casual fan and moving them to an active fan. Now we're here. Now we're at the active fan stage. They took some form of action, which makes them an active fan. They become activated. And they are now in your world, seeking you out, trying to figure out who you are, what you're about, if they want to engage with you more, and it kind of become into that connected community member, connected community fan. Okay, where they're now becoming even more engaged and now they're interacting with your other fans, and this leads them on the superfan journey. Okay, so this particular topic of going from an active audience to a connected community will be 2 to 3 episodes in length. Tonight is the first episode on this part 4. And there will be at least one more, possibly 2 more in this section, depending on how deep I go into the next topics. Tonight, we're discussing the first 3 strategies from Pat Flynn in his book in section 2 of the active audience, taking them from the active audience to a connected community audience. I use the word fan in place of that, the active fan to a connected community fan in our situation. Okay. So I'm kind of using language that pertains to us. So if you read the book, he talks about active audience to a connected community audience. So a super quick recap, just for you, those of you who haven't seen those episodes, and you can go back. I believe it's episodes 8 through 11, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I believe, or it might have been 9, 10, and 11, were episodes regarding Pat Flynn's book, Superfans. Okay, so Superfan, again, invests time, money, and emotion into you, your products, your groups, your band, your performances. Some people call this your tribe. It's kind of a interchangeable word, tribe, superfan. Okay, our goal is 1,000 superfans who invest time and money into us and our shows. Focusing on the activity of attaining superfans is the most important task in your band's growth. Your first goal as an artist, musician, band is your Super 1,000. Your Super 1,000. If 1,000 superfans spend just $100 per year on you, your merch, at your gigs, you will then have a 6-figure band. Okay, just 1,000 fans spending $100 a year, and that's really easy to do today, right? $100 is nothing these days. So again, action step number 1 for you is to convert one fan into a super fan every single day. And if you do that, if you just focused on that one task every single day, within 3 years, you would have met your 1,000 superfans. But as we've discussed before, once that train gets rolling, it doesn't typically take 3 years because the train gets going. You start converting fans into super fans, and it builds steam, and those fans attract other fans, and it'll happen much quicker than 3 years. But your goal should be in your mind to convert one fan, focus on one fan, changing them or converting them or getting them on that journey towards a super fan every single day. Okay. As a reminder, again, there are 4 types of fans in our music world, as we've taken from Pat Flynn's book, Superfans. The first is called casual fans. That's level 1. The second level is active fan, meaning they've been activated. They had some form of action with you. They went to see a show. They found you on Facebook, liked your page, sent a message to you, liked one of your posts. They went out with some friends who went to see your show. That's how they got there. There's some form of action that has been taken, whereas before they were casual. They didn't know you. They found you, discovered you in some way by some chance, took some form of action, and now they are activated. They are an active fan. Now we are moving them from this second phase or to the third phase, which is a connected community fan. And then the fourth is super fans. So casual fans, active fans, connected community fans, super fans. Okay. And we want to move them from casual fan all the way to super fan. That's what we're trying to do here. This is called the fan pyramid, as Pat Flynn describes it in the Superfans book. Going a tad deeper in our review, casual fans represent most of your view count and traffic. They're just noticing you, they're hearing you for the first time, they're stumbling across your social media pages and posts, they're observing who you are and deciding if they want to engage. Your active fans are the group who knows who you are now. They know what you or your band's brand have to offer them. Active fans live in your email list, on your social media, your groups, your pages. They're at your gigs, etc. The goal for you to achieve with your active fans is to entice them to begin engaging with other fans in your connected community. From active fan, the next level is a connected community fan. And this is where the magic begins to happen. This is where you really begin to connect and communicate directly with your fans. Even better is that now they are having conversations with each other, your fans and super fans. Okay, so they're not just looking to connect with you. Now they're becoming a community member and they're engaging with your other fans. They start to feel connected to your audience, and that's a much higher level. Okay, that's about your band's brand, and those are the true advocates. And they begin speaking the praises about how much more they enjoy life being a part of your shows and your community. And they are well on their way to superfan. Okay. So again, you can go back and watch episode number 11, which is a deep dive into engaging with your casual audience and elevating them into your active audience. Episode number 11 is really good and a real deep dive onto that and kind of does a review of the whole casual fan, moving casual fan to active audience. It gives you practical examples and quick win strategies on how you can do that in your own band. Okay, some of the topics and strategies discussed in episode 11 were like learn the lyrics, break the ice, quick wins, drive the DeLorean, return every handshake. Okay, so again, if you want to know about those topics, watch episode number 11. Okay, and tonight's episode number 17, part 4 of our Pat Flynn Superfans book journey. We are discussing our active fan audience and how to move them from an active fan to a connected community fan. Again, this is the first of a 2 or 3 part series on this topic, moving active audience to a connected community audience. People want to feel like they belong. People want to feel like they belong. That's important for us because that is how we get them, once they're active, into our connected community. They want to belong to our community, or they want to belong to something. We want them to belong to our community. So now we're working on our active audience and we're trying to move them to a connected community fan. And tonight we're going to discuss how Pat Flynn explains to do this in 3 different ways. There's more ways than that. We're just going to cover 3. Okay. Let them take a shot. This is the first topic he discusses. Let them take a shot. So what does that mean? People love to know that they know the right answer. People love to know that they know the right answer. So how can we use that principle of let them take a shot in our bands, in our social media? Let them take a shot means give them a way to give you the answer to something. Okay. So if people love to know that they know the right answer and you give them a way to give you the right answer, that's letting them take the shot. Okay. So how can we do that in our bands and on social media? Here are some ways that you can do that. You can ask for an answer to something. So you could propose a question and ask for the answer. You could ask for feedback from your audience on a given topic. Okay, so select a topic, ask for feedback on that. You could ask them if backstage passes are still cool. What are their thoughts? Is that a thing of the past, or are backstage passes still cool? And this will give you valuable information and feedback on if you should offer backstage passes and the kinds of things that they think happen backstage. And you can then create a backstage experience if enough people respond about that and they still think backstage passes are cool, and maybe they give you some tips on how to do that that will connect with your audience effectively. You could type out the lyrics to a chorus. So select a song from your current set list, songs you perform. You could type out the lyrics to the chorus and ask them what the name of the song is and who the artist is. So you could get them engaged with the songs that you play and see if they recognize the lyrics and they can participate in the song and the artist and get engaged and feel good about knowing the answer to that question of knowing what song and what artist sings the lyrics to a given chorus. Okay. Other ideas. You could ask them if tour buses are a wise investment for a Midwest band, right? Just get their feedback, get them engaged, get them thinking about this. A lot of people think tour buses are really cool, so maybe they even do some research for you and some of them may go into elaborate answers as to why you should or shouldn't get a tour bus. Or maybe they think, don't get a tour bus unless you're a national act, right? But you may get some information. You may even dig out some uh, information and strategies that they found that you haven't even researched yet, right? But again, this is all about just getting them active and engaged and part of your community. You could ask them what you could give them that would be valuable enough to them to then give you their contact information. Why not call it out, right? What could we give you as a band that would provide enough value for you to give us your contact information? What would that value be? Would it take yeah, you know, I'm just throwing this out there. You don't actually ask this, but would it take a T-shirt? Would it take a meet and greet with the band? Would it take a backstage experience with the band? Would it take a discount in the entry fee getting into the band? These are the kind of answers they may give you. Again, you're asking them what you could give them that would be valuable enough for them to give you the contact information. That's really what we're trying to get, right? We want to stay in touch with them. We want to tell them about our next gigs, our shows, our meet and greets. We want to tell them about our merch that they can get and so forth. So what could we give them to get their contact information? Just calling it out as it is. You could ask them if it's better for your band to book gigs on Friday nights or Saturday nights, right? You might already know the answer to that. You might say, okay, our turnouts are better on Friday nights in our band, or our turnouts are much better on Saturday nights in our band. You might already know the answer to that question, but you are letting them take a shot and letting them answer that question for you. You are also getting valuable information because you are learning when your audience is available more. If you get a whole bunch of your audience saying Friday nights, well, that might be a key that your current audience is more available on Friday nights to come see you, or the opposite, maybe they're more available on Saturday nights, and maybe you start to if you're not booking both nights, you start to lean one direction or another, thinking about when your audience is available. So this is also gathering intel on how you can connect with your audience more. Okay. So you use these strategic type questions to let them take a shot to give you the answer, which then also provides you with information, intel, and feedback about your audience that you can utilize to create strategies for your band. Okay. I think I got one more here for you guys on this. Let them take a shot section. Ask your fans if they think Sunday afternoon gigs are a good investment of your band's time and resources. So what is this doing? Maybe your fans say, no, you've done enough. You've played out Fridays and Saturdays. Take Sunday off, be with the family. Maybe they want to know that you're also family orientated and you like to spend time with your family. Maybe they feel more connected with you that way. Or Maybe you find out a big segment of your audience is actually available to come see some Sunday shows, and you start to gather intel on the fact that, hey, maybe we could make some additional money on Sundays, or maybe we could use Sundays if it's a lower turnout than Friday or Saturday nights, to spend a little more time with our audience, connecting with them and working towards converting them into super fans, because maybe we can give them more attention on Sundays. Okay, so think outside the box here. Okay, so that is the let them take a shot idea that Pat Flynn mentions in his book Superfans under the active audience. I think he calls it part 2 of his book. So with those above strategies and suggestions that we just talked about, you can begin moving your active audience into your connected community. So let's move on to the next topic or strategy that Pat Flynn talks about. He says, let them decide. Let them decide. Okay? And Pat Flynn's, he brings up an example of the toy manufacturer Lego. I think he even mentions in his book how Lego had been struggling and so forth, and so they decided to do something to connect with their audience and engage on a higher level. And they basically invited their audience to participate in product design. They had their fans and followers coming up with new Lego design ideas. They were allowing their fans to join in on that product design. One fan came up with Minecraft Lego designs. And if they get enough engagement from their entire community, they take that fan's idea and they release it. And I remember reading somewhere that I think they actually get some royalties or compensation for that as well, which is really cool, right? So they allow their fans to participate in product design. I think if it gets like 160,000 likes or something, then that goes into another category, a higher up category, where they start to consider releasing that design. And then some of those designs are actually released. And I think if your design is picked, you get some sort of compensation for being part of that product design. Another one he mentioned, because Pat Flynn is a huge Back to the Future fan, and the more engaged you get into Pat Flynn's work and his books and what he talks about, you'll learn more and more. He's just a huge Back to the Future fan, so he has a lot of references to that. And one of Lego's fans created the DeLorean, which he wishes he created, but he didn't. Somebody created the DeLorean Lego product idea, and they actually released that into the market. So this is magnifying the art of moving an active fan member to a connected community member on kind of a high level. So how can we do this with our acts and our band's fans? I'm just going to take a quick look at StreamYard, just make sure we're still active and going here and recording. Yes, we're 38 minutes in and looks good. Okay, so let me get back to my notes here. Okay, so what could we do about this topic, letting them decide, right? So if they came up with product design ideas for Lego, and Lego went forward with those design ideas, that's letting the fan decide what design ideas Lego should release. So I hope that makes sense. That's the idea of let them decide. Okay? So again, what can we do? We're bands. We're talking about products here. So how can we relate that? Let me take a sip of coffee here. Coffee at 9:15 p.m. Not a good idea. Ask them. One of the things you could ask them is, should you play this or that song, and why? Of course, you would name the song choices for them to choose from, depending on what your band's into, what you play, what music genres you do. You pick a couple songs. I highly recommend only two, three at the most, never more than three, because it's just too much. It's overwhelming for people, and then they don't want to participate. Okay. So to get the most engagement, select like two song choices and say, should we play this song, name the song, or that song, name the song, and why? You don't have to add the and why. That could be enough to reduce engagement itself. But if you add it in and people engage with that and why, you might get some valuable feedback and intel as to why you might choose to go with the majority response idea on playing one of those songs or adding that to your set list, right? Or if you're just simply debating on keeping two songs on your set list and you want to know which one you should keep and which one you should drop, that's a good thing you can ask your fans. You could ask them something even somewhat simpler. Ask them if song, name the song, should be in set one or set two, right? Really, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. Yes, to some point, right? You might notice a better response in set one or set two, and you might like to have that control and so forth. But in the grand scheme of things, is it going to change things that much? You could take one of your songs where you notice it doesn't really matter or affect better or worse in set one or two. It just does good wherever it's at, right? And then you could present to your audience, should this song be in set one or set two? And again, you might get some valuable feedback as to, wow, we'd like to hear it in set two, towards the end of the night, get that energy amped up again. Okay. Or you may learn that your audience, maybe they don't stay for the whole thing and they'd like to hear it in set one before they go home, right? So that could be valuable information. And again, we're trying to get them engaged. We're trying to get that uh, active fan, more engaged and connected in our community. That's the next phase, the connected community. Okay. So hopefully it's starting to make sense. You could ask them if your band should take a break between sets or would they rather you play straight through. And I'm telling you, this is aside from what we're discussing tonight. I want you to heavily consider that. Taking a break during your set is kind of a lost art. That's a thing of the past. If you're going to take a break, utilize that time. Divvy up the time amongst your band members to connect with your audience and be moving around. Do not disappear for 20 minutes and come back. Okay. What I do at shows is I observe the bands that are taking breaks and I begin to count all the lost fans that are walking out the door. Okay, because that is a great time for people to reassess how late do they want to stay out, how much have they already had to drink, how much money have they spent already, what is happening in tomorrow's schedule, are they feeling a little bit tired, especially if it's a Friday from a work day. These are all the thoughts that they're actually having and discussing while you're taking a break and getting your energy back for set two. Okay. So it used to be that this was just a common thing. Bands would, this was just the way it was done. Bands would have two sets or, maybe 3 hours of music, 2.5 to 3 hours of music. They would divide it in half. Maybe it's 2.5 hours of music. You have a half-hour break in between. You do an hour and 15 each set. It's it's kind of a thing of the past, though. So I really want you to reassess whether that's doing your band justice or not. I've counted between 15 to like 30 people walking out the door in your break, okay, at your shows for those of you that are taking breaks. So consider that. Make sure you want to lose that much of your audience so that you can have a little break. Worst case scenario, you shorten your set a little bit and play straight through and do a few encore songs, okay? Anyway, something to think about. Or utilize that break, divvy up the time in your band members. Maybe this band member gets the first 5 to 7 minutes of break where they're not dealing with the audience, and the other two or three of you are out mingling and engaging with your fans, and then you rotate and so forth, okay? So strategize and make use of that. Do not let your fans walk out the door, okay? Anyway, back to back to tonight's episode. That's a whole different thing. So I just kind of went on a tangent there. So the last one we brought up was ask them if your band should take a break between sets, or would they rather you play straight through. So that can give you valuable intel. Okay. Also, if you play straight through, they're drinking and eating. They're drinking and eating and drinking and eating, which provides more revenue for the venue. Venue loves you more, rebooks you. Okay. Just all things to think about. There I am, back on my soapbox again. So another thing you could do is you can ask them to meet and greet or not. Would you like us to do a meet and greet at our next show so you can meet the band? Just ask them, okay? Maybe you're already doing some of that, but just ask them. Find out what your audience wants. Maybe you'll find out if they want you to do a meet and greet at the beginning of the show. They like to come out a little earlier. Maybe they found out they'd like you to stick around a little bit afterwards and do a meet and greet after the show and after they're all excited about all the great music they just heard. You're getting them engaged, and on the backside, you're collecting valuable information, intel for you, so that you know how to structure your band and the kinds of things you should be doing to connect with your audience. Ask them, would you sing this song or that song if you were in our band? And of course, you're naming those songs. You're giving them two choices. You're seeking out information, letting them decide, right? Do they want to hear this song or that song? You're doing it in a creative way. Would you sing this song or that song if you were in our band, right? Again, gathering intel, getting them engaged, converting them from active to a connected community member. Two more for you on this section. Ask them if you should learn and play this cover song or that cover song. And then name the cover band songs that you are considering for them to choose from. Again, keep it down to 2 songs, 3 at the most, but I just recommend 2. Keep it real simple, real easy. There's going to be a lot of your fans that will just think in a nanosecond and just respond one-word answer. If they have a list to go through, they'll just keep scrolling. Okay, so keep it simple, short, to the point. This also lets them know that you're considering releasing some new songs, performing some new cover songs that they may be interested in very soon. And this gives them a reason to come back out to your show. This inspires them to get re-engaged with your band and come see another show and maybe see that you perform that song they're interested in. Okay? Last one on this topic of let them decide. This shirt or that shirt for the next gig, right? You could let them, this announces, number one, that your next gig is coming up and you could say when it's coming up. And it lets them participate in your rock star attire, right? And this could be, you could just narrow it down to the singer or the guitar player or the drummer, or it could be a band style or something, right? Get creative. Again, you're just trying to get them engaged and involved in what you do on stage, right? If they can be involved in some of those decisions, they quickly become a connected community member or fan or audience, and then they are on track moving to a superfan. That's the whole goal. Remember now, in this category, you will be making the ultimate decision. Just because you ask these questions, just because you get some participation from your audience, your fans, Doesn't mean you have to go with the things they're saying. You get to make the ultimate decision regarding your band, but you are just working to get a fan engaged in your community. This also is great if your band is currently split on the decision. Say you have 4 members in your band, and 2 think you should do this song, and 2 think you should do that song, or 2 think you should be wearing this color shirt and 2 this color shirt, or 2 think you should do a meet and greet before the show, 2 meet and greet after the show. You can use this strategy and your audience to be the tiebreaker in your band's decision regarding the matter. So that's just another strategy out there. Okay. Now let's go on to Pat Flynn's third and final suggestion in this category of converting an active audience, or what we're calling active fans, into a connected community audience, or what we call connected community fans. Okay, the third piece, he says, is to create a challenge. Create a challenge. And here are just some quick ideas. I wish I had a little more time to invest in this piece for the training tonight, but this is what I came up with so far. On creating a challenge for your fans, you could host a like a biannual, in other words, twice a year, like a song list picker challenge. And maybe you can come up with a better name. Song list picker challenge. You're going to host a challenge where your audience helps you pick the song list and create your set list moving forward. So maybe you've been playing a certain set list for half the year. You're ready to mix that up and relaunch a bunch of new songs, and maybe reorder your set list to change things up a bit. And you create a challenge called the Song List Picker Challenge, or something that you come up with, where your audience can participate in this challenge, helping you pick the songs that they want to hear and create the order of the set list that you'll be playing it in. So you're really engaging and really getting connected with your audience in this type of challenge. And this could be quite fun for them. You could create a venue challenge. Get our band booked at your favorite venue, right? A lot of people have the certain venues they enjoy going to, and maybe it's possible you come across a fan who gets you a gig or booked at a venue that maybe you haven't played, or maybe you haven't played in a long time at this venue. And you're also starting to learn where your fans are going so that you know where to go and where to book your gigs. Okay. So it could just be a simple venue challenge. Get our band booked at your favorite venue. And the third one that I came up with is maybe your band wants to write an original song and you host a challenge. Maybe the challenge is called Lyric Hook Challenge. Lyric Hook Challenge. You host a challenge to see who comes up with the best lyrics to a chorus, which is typically the hook of a song. And you could do this for like them actually creating the melody, or them creating the lyrics to a chorus, the melody to a chorus or the lyrics to a chorus. And you could have that, or both, right? You could have them write a melody for the chorus, or an intro to a song, or the lyrics to a chorus, and you could use the winning chorus lyrics or melody line from the challenge to help you write your next original song. This is a very high level of the audience getting engaged and really becoming a super fan immediately with you at this level, right? You could, just a suggestion, be sure to get a release to use what they wrote and consider listing them as a co-writer, right? Or if you want to, if you want to offer them some form of compensation if it takes off and goes viral, that's up to you as well. But you might want to consider getting a release in that particular example so that you can use something that your audience member came up with, right? And this is a elevation of status for a fan too. Their status, their quality of life has just, right, it just went up by being a part of this type of challenge and getting disconnected with your band. Okay. So those are just a few quick ideas off the top of my head in regards to creating a challenge for your fans. And hopefully that just kind of bumps your mind, gives you some ideas, opens up your mind to, okay, well, what kind of challenge could we create for our fans? How could we get them engaged? Maybe we could do like a quarterly challenge. And what would those challenges be that we get our fans involved in and start moving them from whatever level they're in to super fan status? Get creative, have fun, make it interesting and entertaining. You can elevate and gamify the creating a challenge idea with prizes, rewards, merch, hanging out with the band, etc. Okay, so those are the first three tools that Pat Flynn gives us in his book Superfans to convert our active audience or active fans into a connected community audience or our connected community fans, which is one step closer to superfan status. And we're going to stop there for tonight. And this episode will be continued in part 2 on this topic of converting an active fan into a connected community fan. Okay. And then from there, we take that connected community fan and move them to a super fan. Okay. That's the progression. Okay, again, you can go back to episode 11 is a nice recap of the entire moving a casual fan to an active fan. Episode number 11 really is probably all you need to really get an overview of that casual fan to an active fan and ways you can do it in our situation, the Midwest Rockers, of actually, having a band, an original band or a cover band, how you can do that with some quick wins, examples, strategies, and so forth. Okay. So now that we've discussed that, keep in mind again that superfans are self-motivated. How do you know if you have a superfan? They're self-motivated. They will invest their own time, money, and emotion into you, your products, your groups, your band performances. They will decide to go to your shows. They will arrange things in their schedule to get out to your shows. They're self-motivated. You don't have to ask them, plead with them, beg them, bribe them to get out to your shows. They come out to your shows on their own, and they bring their friends and family members. Okay, those are super fans. That's what a super fan is. So if you beg, bribe, plead with your family members to come out to your show, sorry, your family members are not your super fans. Your super fans are self-motivated. You don't have to do anything. They automatically arrange their schedules around you and your band. That is a super fan. Some people call this your tribe. Our goal is 1,000 superfans who invest time and money into us and our shows. Of course, you don't only have the superfans, you also have your casual fans, your active fans, your connected community fans. So all of these are playing some role in your band and coming to see your shows and so forth. But if you get 1,000 superfans, that's like almost like guaranteed income into your band. Okay, those are your customers, if you will, your super fans. Okay, focusing on the activity of obtaining super fans is the most important task in your band's growth. Focusing on converting one fan into a super fan every day. Focus on converting one fan into a super fan every day. That's your goal. Think about how to get your casual fans converted into your active audience, where they have participated with you and your band on some level. Then think about how to get those new active fans converted into connected community fans, bringing them ever closer to our goal of super fans. Okay, Midwest Rockers, I hope this was helpful for you tonight. Keep visiting, get active, get connected with others in this group, invite your friends to this group. Guitar, bass, keys, drums, vocals, those are the 5 core that we have in this group. They need to be from the Midwest, USA. This group is all about the Midwest Rockers, Midwest, USA, the states encompassing the Midwest, okay? Most importantly, keep the lights on, keep rocking. This is John Capity, your guitar coach, podcaster, marketer, gaffer, and improv artist. I appreciate all you. Until next time, peace. That is the end of tonight. We'll see you next time. Take care. Hope this was helpful.